I've got a problem. There are aspects of my personality that I can't control.
Welcome to the very first Sound and Motion Ragecast, a series of frantic ramblings and manic discussions by Andrew about things that, well, while they wouldn't make the average rational adult do anything but shake his head and sigh, they're going to turn Andrew into a blithering wreck of high blood pressure and disillusionment. Now, I'm not going to be saying a great deal. I'm really just here to press buttons and enjoy the chaos that I know is about to unfold. You could say my job is to keep the peace, to calm things down a little. But really, I'm just going to let things happen. And maybe throw a bit of brandy into the fire every now and again, if you know what I mean. So, Andrew, what are you going to blow wildly out of proportion this week? More specifically, blow out of your arse.
When I was thinking about this first Ragecast, I really tried to just think of some of the big things that really got on my nerves instead of the small things, and make a list of them. And obviously, that list ended up taking up several sheets of paper that were just covered in savage expletives and contained the results of a few manic episodes. And I kind of feared that the list might end up getting confiscated and might see me locked up in some sort of asylum. So I decided to be more concise and actually come up with some reasoned arguments, like research a little and read papers, browse internet sites, that sort of thing. And
what, like porn, knowing you?
There was some porn.
Right.
I had to have a break.
Okay.
I basically wanted to construct a discussion with my own insanity that would somehow make for interesting and informative listening.
And how did that go exactly?
Well, it went all right. There's some bits that are quite sensible, but I have to spoil it by getting annoyed and coming out with some insanity in the middle. But, fuck it, basically. So, this week I'm going to get wound up by kids' packed lunches, which I didn't think annoyed me until, yesterday.
Right, so you spent 2 minutes explaining why you're getting pissed off at Lunchboxes.
I'm going to talk about them, not just saying that.
Well, carry on.
Well, there's just, I saw a news report the other day, and there's so many rules governing what you can put in a kid's packed lunch now, and it really annoys me.
Right. For health reasons, I'm sure they're there for the good of the kids, Andrew.
No, I just think they're trolling people, some of these politicians.
They're trolling people.
They are. Some of it's utter bullshit, but we'll get to that. When we were kids, a lunchbox usually seemed to contain a sandwich, crisps, maybe a chocolate bar and a piece of fruit, maybe a yoghurt. And, the kids that had the yogurts, the yoghurt would have been sitting in the lunchbox all day, simmering in its own bacteria. But that was never seen as a problem when we were kids. But now, I read the other day, the Conservative Secretary for Education is suggesting that packed lunches like this should be banned, that there should be rules put in place, and the Food Standards Association, or whatever they're supposedly called, have said that the ideal lunchbox for kids should contain a falafel and salad in a pita bread, hummus, peaches and a fruit juice, low-fat yogurt, and a small apple juice. And if you're an adult, that's fine. But, what kid is going to want to open their lunch at 12:30 to find a feast of hummus that's got an appetising shade of shit, and limp salad and crushed falafel in a pita bread that by then is largely broken into pieces in the dry as the Atacama Desert? Just utter shit. And kids run about with their lunchboxes. Most kids don't have theirs served up by a silver service waiter that offers them a choice of fucking red wine or white wine or something.
Well, that really is immaterial, though, isn't it? They just want to be healthy.
Yeah, but it doesn't just stop with nutrition, though.
How hard is that for you to accept?
It doesn't stop with nutrition. I remember hearing from a woman I know who's got a primary school age daughter, and the kids aren't even allowed to have apples in the school unless they've been peeled first. How many kids do you know that have choked on an entire apple, the entire apple, try to swallow it, and choked on it, or like ripped all their teeth out by biting into one. I mean, surely if the kid manages that, he's just a fucking idiot. Yeah? The kid's an idiot. And I'm not insane. I'm not suggesting that adults should like get the kids in a room and throw a load of coconuts into the dining hall and hatchets and tell the kids to just fucking get on with it. You know, I don't think that. But I just don't think that they should insist on wrapping these kids in cotton wool. I mean, they are capable. They are adult. They're not adults. They're children. But they can, like, use their hands and chew. They don't need to have everything fucking spoon-fed. And, like, when we were at school, the biggest fear any teacher ever had was that one of us would lean too far back in our chair and, like, fall and crack our skull open on the wall or something. And now these kids are considered to be so fucking retarded that they can't cope with grapes. Grapes.
Sour grapes.
No, just grapes. Just like a bunch of grapes. Challenging for these children.
Did you have any trouble with grapes?
No, I just ate them. It was fine.
Did you stroke someone else's grapes? And get into
Probably
trouble?
for money. But what kid can't cope with grapes? You know, you can buy them now in packs, halved and readily peeled.
No, you can't. Can you?
Yes, you can, and I'm sure you can.
You went to the trouble to find that out.
I sort of think I have a memory of finding them in Tesco's and getting angry. It could have been a dream. But if your kid can't cope with a grape that hasn't been cut up and peeled for it, then drown it in a fucking river. It's clearly not going to survive in the real world. It'll forget to breathe one Tuesday and just drop dead. Yeah. But back to apples, okay? Back to the argument, the seriousness. The parents are supposed to peel them. And I guess I can somehow see the logic in cutting them up first, I guess. You know, there is maybe a choking hazard. I'm sure one child in the history of time has maybe hurt his tooth on an apple, maybe a wobbly tooth or something, cause a little bit of discomfort. But what's the point in peeling it? I mean, have you ever heard of a kid that struggled so much with an apple peel that it's gotten stuck to the roof of their mouth and made them panic so much they've crashed about the room, colliding with other kids and causing a giant flaming pile-up of school jumpers, washable paint and fucking Ribena?
I think I call that a primary school Big Bang.
But it's not going to happen. Another thing I discovered the other day, what the fuck have they done to Ribena? Do you remember how awesome Ribena used to be? But now, they've fucked it up so much and taken all the sugar and shit out that it's like it's 2 parts water and about 2 parts concentrate and about 800 parts water. It's shit. They've ruined Ribena. And it's not Ribena's fault that these kids are fat. It's not. I mean, there's worse things they're having than fucking Ribena. A glass of Ribena isn't going to turn a kid into a tubby little shit. It's just a little beverage. And it's not Ribena's fault. It's the fault of the fucking idiotic parents that are too busy watching Loose Women and fucking shopping all day to learn to cook instead of piling their kids' plates sky high with turkey dinosaur chips and fucking spaghetti hoops out of the tin. But then, you consider, is it really the parents' fault? Or is it actually the fault of the person who was education secretary when they were kids? Who was too busy having them taught utter fucking drivel that isn't actually true in school to give them, like, the opportunity to maybe learn how to boil an egg or roast a joint of beef? But then, that makes another argument, doesn't it? Like, is it that it's not actually the fault of one group of people, it's everyone's fault that the kids are fat, isn't it? It's the fault. It's not just the politicians who have clearly lost sight of their childhoods, or Jamie Oliver, people like that, or the convenience-obsessed parents or television channels or fast food networks. Maybe society should actually work together to help kids instead of tossing blame around like a bunch of fucking idiots.
Well, that valid point you made there.
Slightly valid.
Was it really hard to get out? Did you have to sieve through, 1,000 tons of bullshit to actually...
But then there's the bullshit about peanut butter as well.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
It was valid before. But yeah, some schools don't allow kids to have peanut butter sandwiches now in case another kid that's allergic eats their sandwich. And I'm sorry, but, you pat your kid a lunch, and if another kid grabs your kid's peanut butter sandwich and shoves it down its fat fucking throat and goes into anaphylactic shock as a result, and then good! I hope it fucking dies! honestly, because it's a thieving little shit. And it's not my fault. It's not the parents. It's not the teacher's fault. It's the fault of the parents for raising a thieving little shit that thinks that's an okay thing to do. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't wish any harm on any hypothetical children. If I'm out on some hypothetical stroll through town and I see a hypothetical kid trapped by some hypothetical fire, I'm going to grab a conveniently placed hypothetical hose and save its hypothetical life with a hypothetical stream of water, like the hypothetical hero Hollywood says I probably am. I draw the line at people stealing sandwiches. But, you're not supposed to send your children into the world clad in a suit of cotton wool armour and drenched in antibacterial hand wash. Kids are meant to grow up getting dirty. They're meant to get hurt. They're supposed to get sick and they're supposed to eat crap. Remember Angel Delight? This dessert we used to have that had absolutely no nutritional value at all and was basically the colour of neon. I mean, what food colouring's that? Like the yellow one that basically glowed in the dark. No wonder imagine what it did to your insides. But we were fine. But, if you carry on treating your kid like the world is this massively dangerous place filled with germs and covered in broken glass, it isn't going to grow up into a strong and healthy adult. You're supposed to love your kids and work with people to make their lives better than yours was. That is enough. Yeah?
Clearly.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to rub your head and your balls in the opposite direction?
Like this. Hang on. That's not hard. Do that.
No, I just wanted the satisfaction of watching you do that.
But yeah, that's all I have.
That was really shit.
I know.
It's fucking crap.
But I'm shaking.
How did you get so angry about that? It's bullshit.
I don't know. I'm
Absolute
actually
bullshit.
kind of shaking with rage.
That's fucking gay.
Fuck you.
It's fucking so gay. So, shortly after we cut, my ball-rubbing, head-rubbing conundrum did not help Andrew calm down in the slightest. After our fade-out and cut, Andrew went ballistic in a fit of rage. So I sent him out of the room, told him, calm the fuck down. But he wouldn't listen, no. So I sent him to have a cold bath. Hopefully we'll be back in the next couple of weeks with some more rage for your enjoyment.